Welcome back to episode 9 of Some Kind of Fun. We have right now with us KFAI DJ Krista Wax. Hey, Krista.
Hi, Claire.
Thanks for joining us.
Oh my gosh, thanks for having me.
Your necklace and your earrings are so well coordinated.
Sometimes I get very matchy.
Excellent.
It gets a little out of control. It's one of my beige flags.
Gotcha. Beige flag.
It's not a red flag, but
It's a pre-red flag. Okay. Tell us a little bit about how you got involved in the radio. In radio. Not really the radio in particular, I suppose. I'm really good at what I do.
So I got started in KFAI about 8 years ago, and it was just kind of like I wanted to do something. And I was kind of looking around. I'd always had an interest in radio. My day job has nothing to do with radio. And it seemed like a fun opportunity. I did a wave project, and that's where you pick like a subject matter that you want to cover, and you get to just host a show for 1 hour. Just a one-time thing. Someone comes in and they do like the engineering, and you just put on this show. And so my show was Ladies of the 80s, because this is my jam still. And I just never left. I went on to do helping with the morning blend show. We used to do a morning show, so it was 1 day a week. I did the music. I leaned a lot towards events that were happening and local bands, and it just kind of went from there. That show ended, and then I just started doing kind of my own show, and it was just going to be web only. And the music host of the local music show had just suddenly moved, and they're like, could you just like fill in? Could you just fill in while we figure out what's going on with the host? I'm like, well, okay. Like, I was going to do my own thing, and then can you just do you've done local stuff before. I'm like,
you can do
I'm like, yeah, right. Just change your format. Just come on, not that hard. I'm like, well, okay. And here we are. About 5.5 years later.
Oh, nice.
So,
okay.
Yes. Just kept
So you
going.
kind of just came into broadcasting, like
I did.
like
Yeah.
that's so cool.
Yeah, it was really fun. It was just like, just looking for some hobby or like something fun.
Wow. And then here you are, like supporting the local music scene.
Yes,
Just like a hobby, and I'll have a purpose.
Yes, exactly.
That's awesome. So you said you've been there like totally for 8 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Have changes kind of come and gone? Like, what have you noticed of how kind of like KFAI is like an organization, or is what KFAI does? Like, how has that changed in your time that you've been there?
That's such a good question. I think it's been really cool to see how with technology changes in the past 8 years, excuse me, it doesn't seem like there's been like that many changes, but just to see our station opening up more to the community and bringing in people who just want to do a podcast, and just having, we have like a regular stream, and that's just streaming only. And we have either music playing or just other shows, maybe people who could eventually get moved to like the regular channel, the big show, the big channel, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. They're going to be like, what the heck is she talking about, the station? But it's fun to see just people get involved in that. It's fun to see with that irregular stream, we can do some really fun days, like celebrating the day disco died, or New Wave Day, or just kind of doing anything else with it too. It's just fun to see other people's shows that pop up on there and anything else.
Cool. So you have Minneapolis Sound. Mm-hmm. How does that fit in kind of with, or I guess how does it like differ from, I mean, KFAI has like the gamut, right? In terms of programming, like that's one of the things that makes KFAI so awesome. How does your show kind of differ? How is it its own kind of thing within that gamut?
I don't know. How is it exactly? I think
define it for us, please.
Yeah, right. I will do my best. So I think what's great about the channel is that we just have, just like you said, just this wide variety. And on top of that, we have like so many shows cover local music. And I love it. I love that we all can. We had our 45-year celebration earlier this year. the way they picked artists for it, which I didn't realize because they were all my favorite artists it was like Mad Mojo Jet, and we had the Mulatas, and I know I'm missing a couple bands, but it was, the program director, they all took a look at who we were all playing, and these were the bands that we were all playing on our shows, or like on enough shows that they're like, we're going to ask these bands because this community, and this is what we all were playing together.
Sure.
And how my show differentiates, I just cover it all, like
welcome aboard.
I cover, right, exactly. I know mine probably isn't much different than anyone else, but I'll stretch the boundary a little bit. I'll play with that boundary of Minnesota music, of like, oh, it was produced here. So like, I love Janet Jackson. So since it was made here, I will play Janet occasionally, not all the time, but I'll have to throw my Janet on there here and there. But I guess it is focused solely Minnesota music, where other shows have more of a differentiation and maybe do other things with it.
Sure.
But I try to focus a lot on events and new bands and new music coming in.
And I mean, we appreciate that. Like, that's just such a cool thing to do. I mean, to be able to kind of have that like collaborative sort of, here's your, the kind of the voice behind the music community. And like, that's so important for artists too, right? Like, and so that's such a cool thing that you do. Like, we love you for it.
I love all of you.
So tell us more about you said it was the 45th anniversary show.
Yeah.
Tell us about the event.
Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. We had like, one of our, our managers there had hand stamped like party hats, and we had like cake, and it was the hook and ladder, most important. Of course, I'm seeing it all in my head. You can't see what's in my head, unfortunately.
I'm trying.
Fortunately. It was at the Hook and Ladder. It was one of the first outdoor shows of the season. It was May 5th. And it was just so much fun. It was such a good turnout, and just fun to see other hosts and just all of us and the community getting together and seeing all these bands perform.
Sure. So one of the things that we talk about, what we have like kind of a monthly topic here at Some Kind of Fun. And what we talked about this episode was new releases this year. Do you have any new releases that you've played or heard from local artists who like that are really exciting to you?
Yeah, I do. There's, I think, a couple that are coming up. I'm going to talk about one that just came out, was Black Market Brass. I'm a huge fan. Their album just came out a couple of weeks ago. It's fantastic. I love their sound. I love the variety of instruments. I love watching they don't do that many live shows anymore because there's so many people, and I don't think they all live here, right? So like, I don't think they're all here full time anymore. But just to watch them all perform together, is at their album release show a couple weeks ago. It was just, I just love watching everything that they're doing, along with like the band Malamania. They both have like that big loud sound, and just so many percussionists and instruments, and just so many things going, and it's so organized. I don't know how that's kind of what I'm amazed with. Like, how does everyone know what they're doing and how they're doing it? But that's why they do it. That's why I don't. That's why I play the music. I'm not up on stage with them. Don't want me. That's okay. A couple bands and albums that are coming up in October I'm excited about. Jordan Johnston is a brand new artist, new album coming out. I'm excited. As I said, I love Janet Jackson, Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis. Anyone listens to the show, they're probably rolling their eyes now going, yes, we know. But I am deeply obsessed with them and their music. And Jordan is a young R&B singer, and his dad had worked at Flight Time with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. And so when I first heard his sound, I thought, this sounds like Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis, like the Minneapolis sound. And when I was researching him further, found out like those were his influences along with Mint Condition. So I lean very much into like the R&B and like pop and stuff. And his music is great. That's going to be a great album. His album release show is going to be with Stokely of Mint Condition. So like, I mean, my goodness.
Wow.
I know, right? Way to get started.
Yeah. Like
a little mind blown. And then Lady Midnight has a new album, and I'm very excited about that. She's been working with Laserbeak. That's coming out in a couple weeks. So
cool.
I'm really excited. And of course, I've been able to listen. I don't know why I have to whisper, but I was able to listen to both of them.
We won't
earlier.
You can turn it down if you think you need to.
Yeah, But just really excited. I've listened to them both, and they're really good albums. So
Cool.
I'll recommend that.
So what are, and I'm sure that those are among them, what are there any shows that you're looking forward to locally coming up?
Oh, yeah. The other one, I forgot to, Annie and the Bang Bang.
Oh, yeah.
Course.
Right on.
Love them.
Sure.
So I'm really excited about that new album. I have not listened to it yet. But that, I felt like I need to say that on record.
Do you get like sneak previews? Like, are people like, here's your, really?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
And it's really fun, I think, because Annie and the Bang Bang are coming on my show soon. And they get to premiere one of their new tracks. And so it's really fun when artists reach out and they're like, oh, this song is coming out soon, but could you play it early? Or like, we really wanted you to premiere. I'm like, yes, that's just makes me really excited and fun that they like not trust me with it, but just are like, hey, could you just play it? I'm like, absolutely.
Sure.
Just like, yes, here's a sneak preview. You'll find it on streaming later, but right now you can find it on
Cool.
MSP Sound. So yeah, or exclusive tracks and things like that. It's just really fun.
That would be fun. I'm a little jealous. If so, KFAI is community radio, and the organization does like just a ton of fundraising, I would imagine, to stay afloat and continue to do the really important, cool work that they do. How can folks support that process?
Oh my gosh, beautiful question. Thank you. Yeah, like you know this. Yeah. Yes. Well, our next pledge drive starts, I believe, October. Actually, I'm more focused on when it is for my shows, but it'll be, they're going to kill me. October 18th, I think, through October 31st.
Okay.
So I know MSP Sound working on a special show for October 23rd. And then the next Monday would be October 30th. So I always do a Halloween themed show. Like, I was surprised how many local artists have like a spooky-ish theme. It was just like, I'm just going to do a set of like spooky tunes. And I realize now every year it expands where like I can do full 2 hours with
Gonna need more time.
spooky-ish tune, right? So that's what I have coming up, but you can always donate anytime, kfai.org/donate. Pledge drive coming up in October, so we're all excited about that.
Cool. Well, thanks for joining us today.
Absolutely, thank you.
You're so much fun.
Oh, thanks. It's a little nerve-wracking being on the other side of it. Oh. Being in the hot seat.